Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to race number 3 of Division 1 of the NNSCRA Skittles Super Speedway Series. Coming off an exciting qualifying event here at the Piggzcreek Super Speedway yesterday, we're ready to go racing at this track. The dimension just a little over 4 miles in length. I'm not exactly sure of the exact length. It's something like 4.162 miles, something like that. Somewhere in that range, but just a little over 4 miles in length. It's the longest track we've been to so far this season. Our last two tracks, 2.5 and 2.6 miles. So these drivers are going to have a lot more time to be able to make moves, find friends, and this track is also much wider than the other two tracks we were at earlier on this season. So we could see these drivers go 4, 5, and even if they're feeling brave enough, even 6 wide. And that'll be a very exciting race for the fans, no doubt about it. 18 laps of racing today doesn't seem like much, but when you compare it to the fact that we are running a track almost twice the size of the two tracks we've previously been at this season, it makes a lot of sense. James Qualls was the fastest in qualifying, only laid down 1 lap in round 2 of qualifying. It was the fastest lap and was able to get him the inside of the front row. So it's his first pole of the season. He'll start alongside of Sebastian Cucalon, who comes into this race in the first position in the point standings. 2 starts, 2 top 10s, a top 5 amongst those 2 top 10s, and an average finishing position of 5th place. So pretty good start to the season in a Super Speedway series for the driver of the 42, and he starts with good track position here today. Jake Rogers lines up on the inside of row 2 alongside of Laurent Lemount, who is started inside of the top 10 for the 3rd straight time this season. This team's been very good with their qualifying program, and LaPlante is going to complete your top 5. Let's go down trackside and get those most famous words in motorsport.
Drivers, start your engines.
Command is given, and so as the Pontiac Grand Prix pace car will lead these 40 drivers around, let's take a look at your top 10 in the point standings coming into today's race, presented by Blame Shelley Insurance. Now, we mentioned Sebastian Cucalon comes in the points leader. He has 2 points in hand over Vance Caldwell. Shane Lake currently sits 3rd. He's only 4 points back. 5 points out is Philip Goldberg in 4th. Completing the top 5 is Jessica Shelton. She's only 6 points out of the top positions. The points after 2 races still very, very close. The rest of the top 10, LaPlante, who we saw rolling off 5th. He's 6th in points. William Duncan is 7th. Ryan Butcher, who won last week at Army Digital, is up to 8th. Riley Spurlytube in 9th, and Trent Dunham, who will roll off on the outside of row 3, completes your top 10. Top 10, the points coming into this race only separated by 14 points. You look at first down through 40th, which right now is Jonathan Zoerlein. The whole field's only separated by 67 points, which is less than 2 races mathematically, so still everybody mathematically has a shot, with today's race included 13 races in the regular season remaining, to still have a chance of getting into this season's playoffs. We also know for certain as well that these drivers will not be able to make it the full 18 laps on fuel. So if we end up going green flag racing to the finish, we will see green flag pit stops here at the Piggzcreek Super Speedway. 18 laps and the fuel window is somewhere around 15 to 16 laps. So the question is, will these drivers try short pitting somewhere around lap, I don't know, maybe lap 6 or 7 to be able to make it the rest of the way, or will they go all the way to around lap 14 or 15? I apologize for that little bit of lag. I've had something going on here where my mouse, I don't know if it's my mouse or what, but something keeps clicking out of Windows, so it freezes and then it comes back and then freezes and then it comes back. Hopefully I'll be able to keep an eye on that during the course of this and we won't have that issue. But here we go, 18 laps of racing at Piggzcreek. Green flags in the air, let's roll! And there you see already they are 3 wide. I think they're 4 wide back there in the mid-pack area. They'll settle it out to around 3 wide on the straightaways here. But they are 4 wide there. That is Cody Smart down on the inside. Gardner in the middle, along with, I think it's Benjamin Miles and Philip Goldberg up top. We got a spinner! We got a couple of cars around. One was Vance Caldwell. One was Jonathan Zoerlein. Looks like there were a few others involved as well. Lap 1, and the first caution is out here at Piggzcreek. Sebastian Cucalon got around James Qualls for the top position, looking to lead us back to the caution. That'll also be a very valuable bonus point for the 42 if he is indeed able to win the battle back to the line, which it looks like he's going to be able to very easily. They're double wide behind him. Start-finish line at most tracks normally there, but this is kind of like Talladega, where the start-finish line is down near turn 1 right here. And so as the caution comes out, Cucalon will lead us under our first yellow. Now, obviously, we didn't get to see a lot of what went on right there on the back straightaway, but for the most part, it looked like it was just a lot of spinning. I didn't see any drivers with hard hits, but then again, maybe the replay will show us differently. Let's see who was involved. I know that the 16 and the 48 were at least involved, and apparently we did have a hard hit because the 5 of Joshua Lee, a lot of damage on his number 5. Zachary Taylor also badly mangled on the left, right, and rear of his John Deere Camaro. There's Matt Haas. I don't see damage on his car. Jack Mitchell is back here. He's got right side damage. Carter Friesen, who had a good qualifying run of, I think it was 12th. He's back here. I can't tell if he's got damage or not. Maybe a little bit of damage on the left front. There's Jessica Shelton with right side damage, and she comes into this race top 10 in the points. And Shane Lake also has got some right side damage there. He was 3rd in points coming into this race. There's the car I initially saw get out of shape, Vance Caldwell in the 16. And there's the 48, another car that I know spun, but he doesn't appear to have visible damage. So we know for certain that the day is over for Joshua Lee, maybe for Zachary Taylor. We're going to have to wait and see. There's no sense, I don't think, of these drivers coming to pit road under this caution, because I don't think it would put them within their fuel window yet, so we will take the opportunity here to go back and take a look at a replay. Lap 1, caution 1, here at Piggzcreek. Yeah, they were 5 wide here on the back straightaway and not really given a whole heck of a lot of room. Shane Lake is crowding Patrick Zych up the track, and Zachary Taylor is crowding Shane Lake. And there you see the contact, sends Lake into the right rear quarter panel of Jack Mitchell. Carter Friesen did get a little piece of it. As a matter of fact, he's the one that spins both the 48 and the 16 around. So Friesen was indeed involved. Look at last week's winner, Ryan Butcher, get through. William Duncan just avoids his teammate. And we're looking for the 5 of Joshua Lee. There he is up on the outside line. And right there, contact between Matt Haas and Zachary Taylor sends the 85 up into the line of Joshua Lee. Nowhere for him to go. And then he goes down into the door of Jessica Shelton, as well as into the side of Tristan Fowlkes. Fowlkes, who started this race from dead last. There you see the roof flaps deploy, the hood flaps deploy. Carter Friesen spun down towards the inside, but was able to mash the throttle and drive away. I don't really see any visible damage on the 91. We see the damage just behind the right front of Jessica Shelton. Don't know how significant the damage is for them. Whoa, Carter Friesen almost sideswiping Joshua Lee. And Lee just in the wrong lane at the wrong time when the 85 was spun back up into his lane. And Matt Haas got a pretty good hit there as well into Zachary Taylor. So he might be somewhat off the pace. So a very early caution here at Piggzcreek. Let's go back for the green. Well, as suspected, 2 drivers out of the race. The 2 drivers that got the most significant damage out of that. Joshua Lee will finish the race in 40th. Zachary Taylor, after that hard shot around the fuel cell, well, the fuel leak is what's going to put him out of the race in 39th place. And you look at where those 2 drivers came into this race, positioned in points. Neither one of them really could afford a poor performance here today. Zachary Taylor was 32nd in the points, and Joshua Lee 37th. So these 2 are going to find themselves still down near the cellar of the standings when we leave Piggzcreek here today. That'll leave us 38 drivers still running, and all 38 of them still in the lead lap. Sebastian Cucalon, the points leader, out in front. James Qualls, the pole sitter, 2nd. Austin LaPlante runs 3rd. Eli Bright in 4th. 5th, Trent Dunham. Then it's Zack Winkle, Jake Rogers, Cody Smart, Jonny Gardner, and Diego Yepez. That'll be your top 10. Let's go down a little bit further, as you've got J.J. Roberts in 11th, Benjamin Miles in 12th, Laurent Lemount back to 13th, Andrew Miller 14th, Ashlin Boyd in 15th, 16th is Seth Cole, Philip Goldberg in 17th, 18th Roger Ray, 19th Jay Jefferson, Ryan Butcher will complete the top 20. Brady Burkhart's in 21st, 22nd Jose Millz, JT Bryant 23rd, 24th William Duncan, 25th Joshua Sakuli, Kyle Mathews is 26th, Johnson Zoerlein 27th. Rest of your top 30 are Derek Hamill, Preston Plourd, and Riley Spurlytube, and then the rest of the field still running: Vance Caldwell, Tristan Fowlkes, Shane Lake, Jessica Shelton, Patrick Zych, Matt Haas, Jack Mitchell, and Carter Friesen. Green flag back in the air here on lap number 5. Very interesting. We spent 3 laps under the caution, under pacing. And I was wondering if these drivers are between 2 to 3 laps short of making it, is it possible to save those 2 to 3 laps under the pacing that we just had? Was that caution a godsend for these drivers who were not going to be able to make it on fuel to be able to clutch and save enough fuel to now be able to make it to the checkered flag? We're going to have to wait and see. I do know that if they had all come to pit road just before we got the 1 to green signal, they would definitely be good to go. But the fact that they didn't come to pit lane makes you wonder. And we're just going to have to wait and see the end result if that's going to be the case or not. Sebastian Cucalon out in front. They're going to race side by side for second. Eli Bright to the inside of James Qualls. In order to make a move on the leader, you're definitely going to need some help. I was observing a lot of what went on in our 2 qualifying sessions when we had drivers in a pack. And while they can get themselves lined up pretty well here on the straightaway, you see Austin LaPlante with a big run on the inside because he has people lined up with him. Everyone seems to spread out once they get to the turns. So you have a drafting partner for a while, but they go away once you enter into the corner. And so in order to take the lead, you really need to probably make the move on one of these straightaways when you know for certain you're going to have someone lined up on your back bumper. We'll see what Eli Bright in his Dodge does here, as he's going to get to the back of Sebastian Cucalon. Trent Dunham now moving into third, and they are 3 wide further back behind him. They're also venturing 4 and 5 wide mid-pack, and we saw a 5 wide situation bring out our first caution, so that makes me just a little bit nervous. Look at Trent Dunham and Diego Yepez. Big run, and they're going to try the top side. Now Trent's going to move back down into the draft of the 12 along with Yepez. But boy, those two had a really good run in the back straightaway. Thought about taking that momentum somewhere. Trent wanted to go outside again, and Diego Yepez is going to abandon him. Now Yepez is down low. If Bright wanted to make a move down to the inside of Cucalon down here into 1, he'd be able to get the draft of the 69, and maybe he'd be able to make the move. But for now, seems content to ride in the tire tracks of the Delta Airlines Chevy Camaro. Right now, Chevy, Dodge, Chevy, Chevy, Chevy. The lone Dodge of Eli Bright in this field up here inside of the top 5. And Eli Bright, if I recall correctly, had a pretty decent run last time out at Armory Digital. Yeah, jumped up from 36th to 25th in points. So he's riding a bit of a wave of momentum. And looking good here today. I see another car down there on the inside line, that Detroit become human number 47 of Andrew Miller. After 2 starts, he comes into this race 41st in points, so he's certainly looking for a good performance. And right behind him, you've got Ryan Butcher in the 76, as my mouse just did that weird thing again. And Ryan Butcher trying to pick up his 2nd win in a row. Butcher winning at Armory, and of course we kind of documented at the top of the season that in order to make it into one of those 8 playoff positions, you really need to be a multi-time winner, because the odds are we could have as many as 15 different race winners during the regular season, and only 8 of those 15 drivers would get into the playoffs. So if you're going to ensure that you're going to be in the playoffs, you pretty much have to go to victory lane at least more than once during this regular season, that is. Talked about Andrew Miller struggling this year. Is Diego Yepez going to try for the lead? Is anyone going to work with him? Looks like Miller's going to go down low there. If Yepez can stay to the left rear quarter panel into 3, he'll have a shot. But I'm also seeing that John Deere number 97 of Zack Winkle. That's another driver struggling in points, 36th in the stands, and he did not have a good Armory race either. And Andrew Miller is going to push Diego Yepez to the lead. All of a sudden, that inside line kicking in as they are 3 wide, about 4 rows deep. Winkle's going to move to third. JT Bryant, Cody Smart, couple of former teammates in the Hershey's Cup Series working together. And here's the pit stops I was talking about. They're going to pit at the halfway point, and the leader, Diego Yepez, is going to give up the top spot. About half the field pits, about half the field stays out. You know, I'm a little curious, too, because I think a couple of drivers, like Carter Friesen and all of them, might have actually already come to pit road back under that other caution. I think Patrick Zych and Shane Lake did as well. If these drivers stay out, they could be good to go the rest of the way. I never even thought about that. Matt Haas is off the pace, so he won't be a factor, I don't think. As here's the front of the field, Seth Cole, Trent Dunham, Vance Caldwell, Zack Winkle almost taking it 4 wide into 3. And now with those drivers hitting pit road, will we see a second pack come to pit lane this lap? But I'm really wondering about that 04, 75, and 55. If they did come to pit road under that last caution, they would probably be good to go to the checkers on fuel where everybody else wouldn't. And Seth Cole's going to hit pit lane along with Hamill, Kyle Mathews, and others. Oh, wow. Brady Burkhart almost, I think, missed the commitment line. I don't know if he made it or not. A number of drivers with a late move to pit road. That turns the lead over to Trent Dunham, who's going to get a bonus point for leading the lap. Driver that comes into this race 8th in the points. Philip Goldberg also running well in points. He's up here. Vance Caldwell up in the top 10. He's running well. Or, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, he is. He's 2nd in points. And Ryan Butcher, who won last week, also rolling the dice. We've got, up in this lead group, 5 of these drivers are inside the top 10 in points. Then you've got Cooley there. You've got Jose Millz, Zack Winkle, Eli Bright. They're just trying to get themselves up towards the top 10 in the point standings. I should also point out as well, I don't know if Yepez pitted just when he was pushed to the lead. So if he did, he didn't lead a lap. And if that's the case, then this would be a moot point. But if he did end up leading the lap, which, like I said, I don't remember if he did or not, he came in 11th in points. So that would have helped to, help his quest to maybe get into the top 10 in points here today. And everybody else is hitting pit lane this time. Yeah, a couple of drivers missing that commitment cone there, that first commitment cone. I don't know if you need to hit that or not, or if you just need to be on pit lane there where pit road speed starts. Now here's the group I'm wondering about. Okay, Patrick Zych is coming to pit road, as is Shane Lake. But is Carter Friesen? No, Friesen is not. Now, Carter Friesen, I think, had to come to pit road. He had that left front damage after he spun into into, who was it? Jessica Shelton, and who was the other car that he spun into? Can't recall. You can actually still see he's got a little bit of that damage there. But he's on the lead lap, and I'm pretty sure he came to pit road under that last caution for repairs. So if that's the case, Carter Friesen, even though he's not going to get any drafting help, he might possibly be able to make it on fuel. Jose Millz in the 6 also stayed out, I believe. There's Philip Goldberg, there's Seth Cole. No, these drivers must have just pitted. Or did they stay out? They're over 10 seconds back behind Carter Friesen. I think they already pitted. So the problem for Carter Friesen is there's going to be 6 laps to go when he hits the line. When this group all... Oh, nope, I guess Millz had not come to pit lane because he's out of fuel. And Goldberg might be in trouble if he did not come to pit road. Jose Millz stretching the fuel, and it just didn't stretch enough. And this is going to be very interesting to see if he can even get back to pit road. Tough break for the driver of the 6. Seth Cole, Diego Yepez, Andrew Miller, JT Bryant in this group. They're 3rd through 6th. Goldberg by himself. He's not coming to pit lane, but Friesen did, and so Friesen gives up the lead. So Friesen could not make it on fuel. And Philip Goldberg, who's going to inherit the lead, is going to be a sitting duck when those 4 drivers catch up to him. He'll get the bonus point for a lap led. That's at least one good thing, but This group behind him is certainly closing. And then you look behind this group, you've got another pack with Preston Plourd, Sebastian Cucalon, Cody Smart, Trent Dunham, Brady Burkhart, and Eli Bright, also Kyle Mathews. This group will probably be able to catch that first group. Then behind them, you got Roger Ray and Jonny Gardner, 13th and 14th, leading this group with Boyd, Roberts. As we got problems for the 73, Joshua Sekuli is out of fuel. Drivers trying to stretch it at a track over 4 miles long. It's just not going to work if you run out of fuel. And there you see the battle for the lead is over. Philip Goldberg drops from the lead all the way back to 5th. Seth Cole will take the top spot. Seth Cole struggled last week at Armory, dropped down to 31st in points. And I think the caution's out. Yes, it is. I wonder if it was for the 73 being stopped on track. And this is going to be very interesting because now everybody's going to have a chance at this win. Yellow flag is indeed waving with 5 laps to go here at Piggzcreek. And probably this lead pack was the last group that wanted to see that yellow flag wave. And there's the reason. Yep, the 73 was out of fuel. Oh, the 32 is also out of fuel. Derek Hamill. And so with disabled cars on the track, I think the 73 being the namely one, as the 32 did get back to pit road, it looks like. I don't know if he's going to be able to coast there. He's at 14 miles per hour. I don't think he's going to make it to his stall. But with the 73 still on the racing surface and in no way going to be able to get back to pit road, NNSCRA officials no choice but to throw the caution. So now the question is, if these drivers were close on fuel, will they come back down pit road? Probably not. I think this caution is going to help them now be able to make it the rest of the way after all making green flag pit stops. Seth Cole's the leader. Let's go back and confirm and see if indeed it was the 73 stopped on track that brings out the yellow flag. And we can confirm that was the case. The caution coming out for Sekuli stopped on the racing surface. Here's what happened to him. These drivers are coming down pit road at a very high rate of speed and having to get down to, I believe it's 75 miles per hour. No, it's 55. Wow. 55 miles per hour for these drivers. Now watch the 73, pulls into his pit stall, and he overshoots it. You can see right there that the whole front splitter is over where it should be. So they tell him, you got to go back around, and watch when he comes down towards the exit of pit road. He would have been better off just trying to put it in reverse and get back there, but he misses his pit stall. And watch the 76 of Ryan Butcher, just leaving his pit stall. You're going to notice, as he's coming out, he's maintaining 55. The 73 can't get it above 30 miles per hour. So at this point, he is actually running out of fuel on pit road. And you're actually going to see as they enter towards the exit of pit road that Ryan Butcher, realizing this, he's losing positions because of this, because he is not going 75. There's Eli Bright exiting his pit stall, Trent Dunham exiting his pit stall. And watch when they leave the pit lane. You see right there, there's a shot. Ryan Butcher to the back of Joshua Sekuli. He's saying, hey, if you're slow, if you're running out of fuel, get out of our way, please. And Vance Caldwell, Jay Jefferson, Zack Winkle all caught behind us. And there you see right there, the 76 wanting to get up to full speed, wanting to leave pit road, and the 73 who could not get going, that was stalled out, holding up all of these drivers. But it was him stopped on the back straightaway that brought out the caution. So as we are under yellow getting ready for a shootout, let's go back to green and see how many laps we're going to have left. Field crosses the line. We will have a 1-lap shootout as the lights go out atop the Pontiac Grand Prix pace car. So this is going to be a wild last lap. Seth Cole lines up the leader, Diego Yepez in second, Andrew Miller in third, JT Bryant fourth, Philip Goldberg fifth, then it's Cody Smart, Trent Dunham, Preston Plourd, Eli Bright, and Brady Burkhart. That's your top 10. We'll give you the rest of the running order in just a minute, but we do need to document that both Hamill and Sekuli had to teleport to pit road. Hamill did not make it to his pit stall. He's back on track, however, but he's 2 laps down, so looks like he'll finish in 35th today. Sekuli is still sitting on pit road. He's currently 3 laps down, and 2 drivers out of the race due to not being able to get fuel in the car. We saw Jose Millz had run out of fuel. He's out in 37th, and Tristan Fowlkes also unable to fuel the car as he will finish in 38th. So fuel issues here at Piggzcreek, and I hope that the Division 2 drivers are taking notice. So we gave you the top 10. Let's go down a little bit further here on this one-lap shootout. Kyle Mathews in 11th. Sebastian Cucalon now back in 12th. Roger Ray 13th. Jonny Gardner 14th. Ashlin Boyd 15th. Then it's Spurlytube, Roberts, Shelton, Lemount, and Zoerlein, your top 20. Benjamin Miles 21st. LaPlante 22nd. 23rd is Duncan. 24th, Qualls. 25th, Rogers. Vance Caldwell in 26th. 27th place is going to be Jack Mitchell. Carter Friesen in 28th. After getting held up behind the 73, Ryan Butcher lost a lot of spots. He restarts 29th. Jay Jefferson back in 30th. Zack Winkle 31st. Patrick Zych 32nd. 33rd, Shane Lake. And last car on the lead lap is the 8 of Matt Haas, who is off the pace. So what are we going to see here? What alliances could be made? We got a couple of teammates up here, first and third, in Cole and Miller. So will they work together? You got Brady Burkhart back there in 10th, trying to win his second race in 3 starts as the green flag's in the air. 1 lap to go. White flag is also displayed. Can they all get lined up here to gang up on the Snickers Chevrolet? Yepez there, but Miller is a teammate to the 33, so I'm not sure he'll help the 69. Miller looking to the outside on Yepez. He's still trying to get up there. Trying to get to that right rear quarter panel. Can't do it. Now he's going to get to the outside. Andrew Miller with a big run trying to get alongside the 69 into turn 3, but nobody's going with him. Bryant stays low. Goldberg now goes up high. Seth Cole mirror driving, trying to hold the Autism Speaks Camaro at bay. Bryant's going to move to 3rd. Dunham looking for 4th as he's got Eli Bright in tow. Will Yepez make a move coming here out of turn number 4? If he does, will Bryant go with him? Bryant now has Dunham to the inside for 3rd. Out of turn 4, if Yepez makes a move, he's going to have to make it now because Dunham's got a big run. Down the front straightaway, headed for the start-finish line. Diego Yepez about a half car length behind Seth Cole. Dunham steps out of line. Seth Cole's going to win the 3rd race of the season here at Piggzcreek Superspeedway. Yepez, even if he wanted to make a move, nobody was really with him on that last lap for him to be able to have enough of a forward push to pass Seth Cole. And Seth Cole keeping everyone at bay as the battle was from 3rd on back for the most part. And Seth Cole, who came into this race 31st in points, is going to take a huge shoot up in the standings with his win here today in Division 1 at Piggzcreek. Yepez will crack into the top 10 though. Came in 11th in the points and will finish the day out with a runner-up position. And I believe the standings are official. Indeed they are. What a great run there for Trent Dunham as he will stay in the top 10 as well. Fought his way up into the podium spot of 3rd. Eli Bright brings it home in 4th. Eli Bright could very well have knocked himself up into the top 15. JT Bryant brings it home with a solid outing of 5th. And Preston Plourd, good run for our Daytona pole sitter as he's going to finish in 6th. Andrew Miller, a well-needed run there in 7th. Cody Smart in 8th. Ashlin Boyd, the good finishes continue for that team as he's going to finish in 9th. And Austin LaPlante will also probably remain in the top 10 in points as he'll finish in the 10th position. Roger Ray was 11th. Philip Goldberg in 12th. Kyle Mathews, never really talked about him today. He's going to finish 13th. Brady Burkhart brings it home in 14th. So Burkhart, who had dropped down to 14th in the standings after his win at Daytona, now will probably move back up towards the top 10. And Sebastian Cucalon, I don't know if he's going to keep his points lead or not. He only had a smidgen of a points lead over Philip Goldberg and Austin LaPlante, who both managed to finish higher than he did. Let me see. LaPlante finished 2 spots ahead of Goldberg, and he was 4 points behind Goldberg. So I think Goldberg's going to be the points leader heading into our upcoming 4th race. But the completion of the top 20 were J.J. Roberts, William Duncan, Jonny Gardner, Benjamin Miles, and Laurent Lemount. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results here today. 2 cautions, the first one due to a wreck, the second one due to a driver running out of fuel. And a couple of drivers going to take some hits in the point standings for sure. One of them I see is going to be the number 55 of Shane Lake, finishing 33rd. And he came into this race 3rd in the point standings, so not the run he was obviously looking for. And then also Ryan Butcher, who finished in the 27th position. He obviously had that win last week, but this is not the performance he was looking for 1 week after finding victory lane. 4 drivers finished out of the race, 2 of them due to fuel issues. Jose Millz, Tristan Fowlkes, they joined Zachary Taylor and Joshua Lee in the garage. Those last 2 drivers out due to the wreck that brought out our first caution. But Seth Cole now adds his name to the list of Brady Burkhart and Ryan Butcher as a winner this season. Is he going to be one of the 8 representatives for Division 1 in the playoffs? We're going to have to wait and see. Thank you all for tuning in to today's race, though, from Piggzcreek. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to be a part of the crew today. We've shown you full picture results. These are your overall point standings heading into next week's race. Next week, we are going to be at FTF Super Speedway, another very long track, but not quite as wide as this one. We still got to finish up this race weekend, though, as we are going to be having our Division 2 race here tomorrow. Till then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching Production NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. So long from Piggzcreek.